Mr. Beast is done.
Mr. Beast situation continues to get worse after he has now hired third-party investigators. There was a massive Discord leak of over 500,000 messages, many of which Mr. Beast was in, it looks like, at least according to these screen images, but also that his co-host, Chris Tyson, who has had a whole slew of reports come out against them, has numerous bad messages. At this point, I would not be surprised if police get involved.
Mr. Beast is done. The saying is, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Mr. Beast is YouTube's largest content creator, recently surpassing 300 million subscribers on YouTube, and he is firmly on his way to 500 million, projected to reach 1 billion in a couple of years at that. Well, the drama between Mr. Beast has been heating up, and his former co-host, Chris Tyson, who had a bunch of messages between him and people who were not of age, leak onto the online recently. Chris left the company, but it's only been getting worse recently. We have a video from Jeremy over at The Quartering today, and it illustrates that things are only going to get worse for Mr. Beast. More than likely, law enforcement is going to get involved very soon. Watch to the end of the video to find out why Mr. Beast may be facing the end of his career. His channel may end up going offline, and both him and Chris may end up spending time in jail or having to pay hefty fines. Let's just go ahead and jump into the video.
Very, very close. Now, obviously, I am curious about, if any of this went any further, but I also want to point out, I am trying to cover this fair and balancedly. And there are a lot of these messages that are just dumb 18-year-olds being edgy. Okay. Right now, a lot of the people canceling, quote unquote, Mr. Beast are just being dramatic Gen Z weirdos. Okay. Most of the stuff that I've seen, at least from Mr. Beast, is like cringe jokes. On the other hand, his co-host, whom he almost certainly protected for all these years, we know at minimum he knows about the Discord messages, is a completely different story. Let's start with the massive Discord dump. And some of the things where, this individual was calling this individual was calling people he shouldn't have dad. They had a weird relationship where, dad, the people in the Discord were calling him dad, which is weird. We also have Chris Tyson's old Reddit posts where apparently he's into, I don't know how to describe it. The stuff that people always make fun of Germans for being into, those type of videos. That's what apparently he's into. Again, could be just an edgy joke, and by the way, apparently Chris Tyson's own sister has now come out to disavow.
Guys, I want to show you something else. So I actually saw the video, but I could not play the video on YouTube. It was really bad. So Mr. Beast jokes about slavery and says he would buy a N bleep for $400 in resurfaced video. He also used several slurs. Oh my God. So I can't even read that. An old clip of Mr. Beast has resurfaced of him using multiple slurs, joking about slavery, and making comments about people who are not of age. In the video, which was filmed on a live stream in 2017 when Mr. Beast was 19, he is asked if he would buy a N bleep for $400. He replied, saying that the most I would pay is $300. Sorry, $400 is just out of my price range for that type of stuff. Later in the video, he said, N bleep, N bleep, N bleep, go before he was offered 10, and then N bleep for 69 each. Mr. Beep called it a steep price as he laughed. In the same clip, he used a very, very bad slur. He said, you shut the bleep up, you stupid bleep. If the video was looped, how would I be able to call you a stupid bleep? Exactly. It's not looped. you bleep and fool. Yeah, this is something else. So the video is right there. I'm not going to link it. I'm not going to play it. But this is actually, guys, so much is emerging about this guy. Another clip has also emerged of the YouTuber speaking on the Hot Web Soup podcast, where they are talking about rapper Bad Barbie, who was only 14 at the time. He did say he liked the Cash Me Outside girl, thinks she's funny. So one of the hosts said before Mr. Beast allegedly responds, "Let's be real, you wouldn't be in a relationship with her." Another host then points out that she was only 14 at the time. The resurfaced clip from MrBeast spoke about the allegations towards his former co-host, Ava Chris Tyson, who has been accused of sending inappropriate messages to people who are not of age when she was 20, and the person involved was around 13. Ava Chris Tyson worked with MrBeast on his channel for a number of years as one of his most popular co-hosts, but decided to step away from the company earlier this week following the accusations. She announced on Tuesday that she had mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things MrBeast and social media to focus on my family and mental health. In a statement addressing the allegations against his former co-host, MrBeast wrote that he was disgusted and opposed to such unacceptable acts. This is an absolute joke on Jimmy's part. Jimmy was well aware of everything that was happening. He was involved in it, and as you've heard just a little bit of earlier from the quartering, he was in the Discord server making these jokes on many of these messages. There's over like 500,000 of these messages right now, and we're getting to a point where the police may very well have to be involved soon because this is some really insane stuff. There was a point where I was saying, you know what? I think that what Chris did is absolutely wrong, but I think that these were just very stupid and offhanded jokes. But now it's starting to get really, really concerning. For example, Jimmy was he was like 20 years old, and he's like talking about bad baby when she was 14. Like, oh my gosh, bro. And then instead of like not being conscious, they just double down and continue talking. And I'm like, bro, are you insane? Like, you don't say those things in this climate. I mean, even in the 90s, we wouldn't do something like that. Like, in the 90s, we would not sit out there, like, having that kind of conversation about someone that, like, no. I don't know what the hell, like, even before this crazy political climate and this insane woke climate that we were in, we didn't do that. Like, something, I've said this before, I've said this plenty of times, something is wrong with Gen Z. Like, OMG, something is wrong with Gen Z. Like, there's something wickedly wrong with them. They are not thinking right. They are not acting right. They are not doing things right. And we all have to be very, very conscious of it, because this is going from bad to worse with these people. Because this is a pattern of behavior, and then they'll just blame it on mental illness.
On July 21st, Chris Tyson was there was claims of him having, friendships that he shouldn't have had. The interactions took place in public Discord servers, from which over 500,000 messages have now been leaked. These showcase Chris Tyson having wild conversations with people he shouldn't have, and having bots set up that post spicy images, bots themselves, encouraging them, people that shouldn't have, to be posting these type of images, and fighting to hold on blocking those type of images, despite people who are too young to see them having access to them.
Yeah, this guy needs to be in jail. He needs to be arrested, and it's going to be very crazy because MrBeast, his channel is getting something like 5 billion views per month, like 5 billion views. It's insanity. It's absolutely insanity, And I don't know what's crazy about all of this is that he could have addressed this a long time ago. Like, if I'm as rich as MrBeast is, and if I've built this type of business, the smartest thing to do would be to wipe your Discord in advance and to immediately fire these people that are associated with this thing, and try to and immediately, and try to say, hey, like, there were things I said in the past that I don't. No, this was all there. It was all there, and he didn't even think about addressing it. And not only did he not think about addressing it, He was still involved in this garbage, to this day until it finally came to light. And now he's like, I'm disgusted. Bro, there's all of this stuff of you doing this stuff yourself, of you being involved in this stuff. Like, what the heck is going on? Like, this shows you like the mental state of a lot of Gen Zers, where like they're just not growing up properly, and there's something wrong with this generation where they're like they're just mixed up in like really despicable stuff. Guys, what's the future for MrBeast? It's not looking bright right now. He had a partnership with Amazon coming up where he was going to be producing like a reality type show for Amazon, doing competition similar to what he's doing on YouTube. That project may now be in jeopardy. They may pull the plug on that. And then there's also MrBeast Bar Feastables, which is being sold at Walmart, 7-Eleven, and other stores across the country. With this, that might end up being pulled, and a significant amount of his earnings come from Feastables. We also know that he dumps most of the money that he makes right back into his videos. I mean, what can happen here? It could definitely impact the YouTube channel. It could definitely result in the YouTube channel being removed. Will that happen? I will say that there's a 99.9% chance that does not happen, because he makes way too much money for YouTube. He's essentially a YouTube employee at this point. He's YouTube's biggest content creator. They are not going to want to risk losing him, because he is just printing money for them at this point. 100% printing money. But it would not surprise me if YouTube did have to get involved. They'll probably remain silent as they can for the time being. But once law enforcement gets involved, they may end up having to speak up. And, the problem is 300 million subscribers and growing. He's projected to hit 500 million, not like maybe a year, not if even a year from now, very soon. And over the coming years, 1 billion. To pull MrBeast, to distance himself from MrBeast is very, very difficult, because he prints money. He prints money not just for YouTube, but I mean, he's also connecting. He's like the glue that holds together a lot of the other content creators, like iShowSpeed, like Logan Paul. Like, he basically collaborates with a lot of these other channels, so he's redirecting traffic to smaller creators as well. It'd be a really large. It would be a really large loss for YouTube, and it's something that they could not fill right away, because the guy is absolutely brilliant. He knows what he's doing, but the problem is that he has a great mind, but he also has a very troubled mind. Birds of a feather flock together, and him and Chris, they are one and the same. Like, they are the same person in so many ways. They're different people, but they are the same person. He knew what was going on. He was involved in it. He did not try to do anything until he got caught. This is really, really terrible. Even if his channel doesn't get shut down, likely he may end up losing his sponsorships, losing a lot of sponsorships, losing a lot of opportunities, seeing people unsubscribe from his channel. It's probably going to get very, very bad, very, very bad. And then you may even hear him come out and say something like they're going to be putting all of the production on hold as they're going through this process, which is insane. But those are the things that we can absolutely see. Ava Chris Tyson, we'll probably see this dude getting arrested soon, or brought in by the cops. And in this case, because it likely involves people who are in different states, the FBI may get involved as well if they are already not involved. This is one insane, wild story. There's also the content that's in the Discord and the kinds of images that were shared in the Discord. That's a massive problem right there as well. And then Chris set up a bot to share these images. Jesus help us. Holy cow. Like, I don't know what the hell Jimmy is thinking. And he knew this was happening. How the heck could you have sat there and watched this happen? Okay? And have been involved in this. He was participating in this. He was in the Discord participating in these chats, looking at these images. Like, oh my God, what the heck was he thinking? Guys, they may end up if they don't get shut down, I don't think YouTube's going to shut them down unless it gets really, really bad. But a lot of people will unsubscribe. A lot of sponsors will pull out for Mr. Beast, which is good for me because I could use that money, because they'll redirect it to other content creators on YouTube, you know. I mean, it's gonna, and then one of the worst parts is that it can really shine a huge light on all of us because, like, as YouTubers, because you have so many bad apples that have been doing so much bad on the platform, and then it just kind of like it just gets kind of like swept under the rug. But there's so many of them, all right, so many bad, so many of them, and for Mr. Beast to do this and to allow it, now they could end up instituting like a much larger code of conduct like for YouTubers, because basically the way that you behave in society, like if you do stupid stuff in society, you could lose your channel. Just to let you know, like there is already like a code, like it's an unspoken code of conduct, but they do say that like the things you do in real life, if you do certain things in real life, you can lose your channel. It doesn't matter if your videos are completely compliant with YouTube's policies. If you do stupid stuff in real life, they can take your channel away, and like you have a lot of these content creators who've just been doing absolutely boneheaded stuff. Some of them are going to jail for like a decade now. And it's like YouTube's just been like, oh, we're just gonna just sweep this one away. But like now we're getting to the point where it's like because of what Mr. Beast has done, or I'm gonna say what he has done, him and Chris, this can shine a lot of light onto YouTubers, and this could result in an entirely new code of conduct, where it'll be ever reaching, like, okay, well, if you do this on this platform, you do this on this platform, and if you get reported, like, so it doesn't even matter, like things that you said years ago can now come back to haunt you. Like, this is the results of what Mr. Beast has done, because this has been going on for so long. So it's really concerning. It's very, very concerning. And what does this all mean? It means that we may end up seeing a massive crackdown on not just just on Mr. Beast, but on all YouTubers in general because of the actions of Chris Tyson and Mr. Beast. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the content, consider subscribing to our newsletter for my personal thoughts, insights, and a free copy of my ebook, The Blueprint for Escaping the Rat Race. Click the link in the description to get your free copy. Guys, what do you think regarding all of this? Mr. Beast is done. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA. Been walking away, and cheers.